Welcome to the Amagi. Welcome to today's video. If you had the chance to talk to one of the voice actors behind Avatar: The Last Airbender, what would you ask them? And how would the voice actor reply? No need to wonder. We've recently gotten the amazing opportunity to collaborate with the wonderful Jessie Flower, who graciously took the time to take part in an interview, for which fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender submitted their questions and take on a challenge that's only befitting for a voice actor. If you want to know what the challenge is about and how well Jessie Flower did, click the subscribe button and ring the bell to not miss out. But enough about that. Let's welcome the voice behind the greatest earthbender of all time, Jessie Flower.
Hey there, Twinkle Toes! Michaela Jill Murphy, aka Jessie Flower, aka The Blind Bandit, aka The Runaway, aka Melon Lord, aka Toph Beifong from Avatar: The Last Airbender here, and I am thrilled to be on the Amagi channel. Thank you so much for having me, Ethan. And today, we have an interesting challenge for you to watch. So, I'm being tested on my quote knowledge for the show, and I'm supposed to guess 21 quotes, and who says them, and bonus points if I remember the context and what episode. That's a bit of a reach. I will do my best with the context, but the episode name, probably not. But hey, we're gonna give it a shot with my wonderful helper over here, my boyfriend, Alexander Rios. He'll be reading the quotes off and telling me if I get them right or not, dramatically. All right, let's do it.
Number 1. I think I got midnight sun madness. I'm going home to where stuff makes sense.
Okay, definitely Sokka. Most of these are written so wonderfully for their character. Sokka has this little flair for the dramatic. I'm going home to where things make sense. That is Sokka.
I think I got midnight sun madness. I'm going home to where stuff makes sense.
That's early on. Is that the first episode? Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. All right.
Episode, Boy in the Iceberg.
Boy in the Iceberg.
Awesome.
That's the title of the first episode. Great. Okay. Number 2.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
Oh, well, that's Azula.
Don't flatter yourself. You were never even a player.
I mean, don't we all dream of saying that to our exes? Azula said that. I always want to say it's to Zuko, but it's not, because he is a player. She disses him a lot, but he's still a player. No, who is that to? Oh, Dai Li, when she takes over.
Dai Li.
Yes, okay, great. We love that. Long Feng. So lots of Earth names get all mixed up. Okay, number 3. Hey! I was stuck inside till I was 12.
Number 3. Oh, that was food? I used it to start the campfire last night.
It's Aang or Sokka. That's where my head is. Is it Aang?
Yeah. Same.
Okay.
Oh, that was food? I used it to start the campfire last night.
Honestly, I was split 50-50 between those two.
Number 4. Maybe we can find a puddle for you to splash in.
Okay, this is to Katara. At least Katara, she might be with Aang. She's practicing waterbending, or they're practicing waterbending. It almost sounds like me, but that's not in there. So, I mean, it's Sokka.
Sokka to Katara and Aang in the waterbending scroll when Katara offers Aang some early help with waterbending.
Yes!
Maybe we can find a puddle for you to splash in.
Okay,
Right.
great.
Number 5. We are the sons and daughters of fire. The superior element. This guy has some interesting facial hair.
Interesting facial
On the
hair.
side
I
of
get
his
hints?
face.
Oh no, then I'm
He's got
actually
a big
blanking.
ego.
And I'm blanking. It's what's his face, but I don't
I know.
remember his name.
Zhao.
Zhao.
Yay!
I was gonna say General Zhu. I'm like, that's
General
not
Zhu.
right. That is not correct.
We are the sons and daughters of fire, the superior element.
Number 6.
Okay.
She's crazy, and she needs to go down. Maybe we should do an old person voice.
You're giving me hints! That solidified it. Well, okay, yeah, it's Uncle Iroh.
Sorry.
I was gonna... No, that's Uncle Iroh to Zuko.
Yep.
To Zuko. And Zuko's like, oh, she's my sister. I shouldn't, hurt her. And then he's like, oh, no, she's psycho. You gotta get rid of that girl. Okay.
Sorry.
She's crazy and she needs to go down.
Number 7.
Okay.
There are no take-backsies in my kingdom.
There are no take-backsies?
Mm-hmm. Like take-backsies.
Oh, take-backsies.
Okay.
That's Boomy.
Mm-hmm.
There are no take-backsies in my kingdom.
Number 8.
8? Okay.
Why don't you ask Sokka's instincts? They seem to know everything.
Is that...
Sounds like some
Is that Katara in the Jet episode? With the because he keeps saying like, my instincts are telling me it's gonna rain or something, and then
that Sokka makes them walk instead of flying on Appa.
That, yes.
Why don't you ask Sokka's instincts? They seem to know everything.
Number 9. Oh, great and powerful sea serpent, please accept this humble and tasty offering. Thank you.
Okay, well that sounds like Sokka offering some sort of fish something.
Oh, great and powerful sea serpent, please accept this humble and tasty offering. Thank you.
In whatever that episode is?
Serpent.
The serpent's pass.
Yep.
Great. I didn't get that one completely.
Offering Momo as food to the sea serpent.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. That's funny. Okay, it wasn't random food. It was Momo.
It was Momo is food. He's a food group.
Momo's a food group. Okay.
Hashtag Momo's a food group.
Oh no. 10? Okay.
I am a warrior, but I'm a girl too.
Oh, okay, Suki. To Sokka?
Duh.
'Cause love.
I am a warrior, but I'm a girl too.
I mean, there is a kiss on the cheek that happens
They were ready.
pretty quickly.
Number 11. Moving on. His sources include singing nomads, pirates, prisoners of war, and surprisingly knowledgeable merchant of cabbage.
Is this like a description of a character?
I know.
I have absolutely no idea.
It's Sokka when reading aloud the poster of the play and Ember Island players.
Okay.
His sources include singing nomads, pirates, prisoners of war, and a surprisingly knowledgeable merchant of cabbage.
He's reading about himself.
Great.
Number 12. I know you can do it, Aang. For you have done it before.
Well, you've done it before. I'm analyzing now. It's either Katara or another Avatar.
I know you can do it, Aang.
Oh, I'm getting hints in live reading.
You've done it before.
So you're sounding like an older man. So it's Avatar.
Roku!
Avatar Roku?
Yep.
I know you can do it, Aang, for you have done it before.
13!
You should leave the way you came. Unless you want to become stuffed head of anthropology.
You're sassy reading.
I know, sorry.
Kind of threw me off for a second, but that was the library.
Yep.
The library.
Oh,
that was
Oshi.
Oh my gosh. The owl. Wan Shitan.
Yeah, Wan Shitan.
There it is.
You should leave the way you came. Unless you want to become a stuffed head of anthropology.
I couldn't pronounce I actually couldn't pronounce the character first.
Okay. This is the worst place in Umashu!
You sound like Sokka.
I do sound like Sokka. Okay, I should do another.
This is the worst place in
This is
Umashu.
the worst place in Umashu!
Foaming Mouth Man?
I wish. Same level of absurdity. He's a recurring character.
Oh, I got a hint.
What
This
is
is the
it?
Cabbage Man.
Yes!
Okay.
This place is worse than Omashu!
It almost sounded like Cactus Juicy Sokka, but that wasn't the right. There were some great Cabbage Merchant and Cabbage sexy outfits. Confusing, but great. I recommend you look them up. There was like a sexy cabbage and then like the Cabbage
You went
Merchant.
for Halloween this year?
Yes!
Okay.
It was
Was
great.
it on the show?
No!
15.
Yeah.
This is a long one. Maybe you should worry less about the tides who have already made up their mind about killing you, and worry more about me, who's still mulling it over.
Killing you. That's Azula.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's
Where is she? She's on something.
On something like drugs. That would explain a lot.
She's on drugs the whole time.
That would actually be
She's on a
that
trip.
would completely over the entire Azula's entire arc is an acid trip.
Azula to her ship's captain when he informs her that the tide won't allow them
Oh, it's
to
just
come
to a
port.
ship captain.
Yeah.
Maybe you should worry less about the tides, who've already made up their mind about killing you, and worry more about me, who's still mulling it over.
16.
Okay.
Where's your creepy grandpa?
Well, that sounded like how I would read it.
I know.
You're throwing me off with these readings over here. I've got like my own voice actor in the room. Do you want to make it more difficult?
It's kind of hard already. Okay.
It's not me, but I don't know who it is.
Yeah, this one's kind of hard.
You're
June
creepy.
Suzuko.
Oh, June.
Yeah.
June. Musical theater, you're welcome.
Where's your creepy grandpa?
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
There was no
So,
way.
number
17? Okay.
I always knew I was special.
I feel like the only person that would say that is Aang.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Who's he talking to?
The heavens? I don't know what the context is. What?
Katara in the library when she tells him he was left-handed in a previous life.
That's the reaction?
I always knew I was special.
Okay.
18.
18.
A couple of more years, and you might be ready to fight a sea sponge.
Well, that can't be Katara to Aang. Because first of all, it's like too sassy. But also, a few years, they don't have that.
It's an old guy.
It's an old guy. It's what? A sea
teacher.
sponge.
He's a teacher.
What's his face? Pacha. Just kidding.
Pacha.
That's from The Emperor's New Groove. The mean guy.
Yeah, it's Paku to one of his students in the Siege of the North, Part 1, after Katara easily beats him.
There you go.
A couple of more years and you might be ready to fight a sea sponge.
19.
Okay.
It's terrible when you can't trust the people who are closest to you.
They're the girls. They're dressed up as Kyoshi warriors. Who says that? It's Azula.
It's terrible when you can't trust the people who are closest to you.
I thought it was May for a second, but no, because that's May and Tylee look at each other and they're like, and we're about to screw her over later. Yeah, I remember this now.
Second to last. Why are we sitting in the nosebleed section?
Oh yeah, is that me? Mr. Toph?
Why are we sitting in the nosebleed section?
Why are we sitting in the nosebleed section?
Ah, that was pretty good.
That was a little more sassy than I think I actually delivered it.
More, yeah.
Thank you, that was my present.
Number 21.
Okay.
Final round. Goodbye, everyone. Today, Destiny's our friend.
Okay, well, there's clearly something dramatic at the end. It's either like an Avatar Roku or an Aang or like an Iroh or a Zuko or a... Okay, Mr. Hintman. Well, now so it's Uncle Iroh. That's where you gasp after Uncle Iroh. Really? I thought it was...
Yeah.
I thought it was like Avatar...
I know.
Roku.
I know, so yeah.
Goodbye, everyone. Today, Destiny is our friend.
It works as an Uncle Iroh thing, but originally I thought it was like a flashback Aang Avatar moment thing.
Yeah. There you go, the end.
Okay, so I mean, if we tally that up, I probably got like a
19 out of 21.
Yeah.
So I feel like I know mostly who says what and kind of where.
That was pretty good.
That was okay. Those were hard. Ethan, sir, those were difficult. I was like, hopefully they're going to be fun. I know.
Except for the one.
Well, that would have been easy.
I know.
Can't give Toph her own tricks.
Right.
She knows how to play them.
True.
That's not how this works. And now we have a bit more of a lighthearted Q&A session. So apparently some of you submitted some questions. So I am here to answer those questions. And of course, my lovely boyfriend will be asking them. We might butcher some usernames. That's fine. We're going to be great. All right, let's get started. Ask away.
This is from Zacatero. Did you have any input into how Toph was portrayed?
Aside from my attitude, no. I was not necessarily part of her creation and how she was drawn or like that the fact that she was going to become a girl. Apparently, according to Giancarlo, after I came in and voiced Mang in season 1 and he saw me and my energy, they had been talking about making Toph a girl already. And after seeing me, that kind of locked into place that they wanted to make her a girl and that they wanted me to come in and audition for her because he saw me and was like, hey, I like what you're doing, and I think Toph should kind of be like you. So that was my part, and I guess like influencing how she was portrayed.
Galigo 13. How did you get along with each member of the cast?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I was 12/13, and everybody else was over 18. So they were all like going out to bars, going to clubs, like hanging out, and I was, going to school and going to bed. So we had a bit of a different lifestyle, but in the recording studio, everybody was super, super sweet. We always had a grand time. When there were multiple people in the recording studio, a lot of the time it was just me, but when other people were there, usually Jack or Dante and sometimes Gray, Mako for like 2 seconds before he passed, and then, Greg, But for the most part, it was just me and, sound crew, directors, Mike and Brian, and the bag of popcorn from the kitchen that I always took.
Next one. Lady Lostris.
Lady Lostris.
Lady.
Lady Lostris.
What would you do when going on a life-changing field trip with Zuko?
Oh, well. Fun fact, I reconnected with Dante last year when he was on his little book tour from Rufio to Zuko, woohoo, and he came through New York, which is where I was living before COVID-19. I somehow knew that he was coming through New York, and Bridget and Sydney, who help him with life, were with him, and I went to one of his book signings, and then I just kind of followed him around and went on a little life-changing adventure with Zuko. So we went to dinner. I met a bunch of his friends who were there to see him when he was on the East Coast. And then I took Sydney and Bridget out to brunch, a boozy brunch. It was grand fun. And then we decided to do a last-minute joint signing at a comic book and action figure store in Midtown. Just on a whim, we decided to do a joint signing. It was great. And so that was a little New York minute with Dante Bosco. So that was my real life adventure with Zuko. Now we're both adults and now I can go to bars too. So woohoo!
Question from Henry Hudson GC. What was your favorite Toph line from Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Favorite Toph line? It shuffles around, I will say, but I do appreciate in my favorite episode, The Library, whenever she says, "Look, there it is!" That's what it'll sound like when one of you spots it. That's a really good moment.
There it is! That's what it will sound like when one of you spots it.
I enjoy all of her little blind jokes, but that one's particularly fun because it's still early on, so they're extra gullible still. And, it's upside down, isn't it?
It's upside down, isn't it?
Another classic. Because she's blind. It just never constant.
The fanfic kid.
The fanfic kid.
Fanfic kid. What was the funniest moment you had whilst?
Whilst.
Voice acting for Toph.
The funnest or the funniest?
Funniest.
The funniest moment. Whilst. I've mentioned this before, but creating sound effects during action sequences is a lot. So there were moments when I couldn't get a grunt right. So I'd have to sit there for 10 minutes just grunting. And various ways of just just all these little things trying to get the right inflection.
Editing that.
Right? And it's you have 17 different to choose from, and it's how do you know? But it's when you know, when you see it and hear it, and then you're just that's the right. Yeah, I don't know. That there was one day, a couple days, especially towards the end when we were fighting more, where there's lots of grunts. Also, in the episode where I said I am not Toph, I am Melon Lord. I had laryngitis, so I could only say part of that line, which is why actually my voice is lower, during that line and during a couple other lines, because I couldn't go higher that day because I had laryngitis.
I am not Toph. I am Melon Lord.
All right, this is a double whammy.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hacker Cat and Pasta Kitten 42. Which version of Toph is your favorite? As in old Toph from Korra, or ATLA Toph, or I guess the young Toph that we see in flashbacks in Korra, or...
It's actually the Daydream version of Toph when Aang sees a vision of her in the swamp. That's my favorite Toph.
Oh, yeah.
No.
There's so much character building there.
So much.
She says so many things.
Yeah, she's there with her boar and her pretty dress, and you're oh, who is this maiden? And then she's ah! It's in Avatar, first of all, because that's when it's me. But I really like when she's in her Fire Nation outfit. Season 3, everybody's at their best, right? They're finally polishing all of their skills and their agendas, and everyone's the most mature, and not in Korra land, obviously, but within the Avatar 3 seasons. And everybody looks good. As much as I hate to say it, everybody looks good in red and gold in this series. They just look so crispy. Katara looks hot. I love Toph's whole layering situation she's got going on. I'm into it. I cosplayed as myself in San Diego Comic-Con 2014. It was great. I went to Joann's the day before, spent $20 on red fabric, and went home and sewed it, and it was great. It was And I walked around barefoot all day.
So this goes hand in hand from Pasta Kitten 42.
Uh-huh.
What do you think of the Ember Island player's Toph?
Oh, well, that was like what the original Toph was supposed to be. That's what Toph was going to be before they made her a girl, which I'm so glad they made her a female. Can you imagine? It would have been so testosterone heavy. I mean, I think that was the issue. They were like, oh man, we got adding on Aang, Sokka, Toph, if it was a guy, and Zuko. We got like 4 and Iroh. There's just so much. So much. It's a lot of dudes. Yeah.
So this one's from Code Villain Hoax. Is there some symbolism or metaphors from the Legend of Korra or Avatar: The Last Airbender that correlate to your personal life? Slightly reworded.
Yes. Well, first of all, this video is not 3 hours. So yes, but I cannot address every single part of your question.
Wow.
There have been a lot of articles, discussions, comparisons.
The Guardian.
Yeah, and The Guardian, I did an interview with The Guardian kind of just comparing the oppression, the societal, just so many things that are wrong and great about how the Avatar world is kind of crumbling when we first enter into it, and how that reflects certain periods in history. I'm not going to state anything in particular, but if you sleuth online or go read the article that I interviewed for The Guardian, we go into a bit of detail. I say there are lots of parallels in history that we should have learned from, that we haven't learned from completely, that are reflected in the Avatarverse, and that we should continue to, I don't know, try to use as a lesson. Feel like you can only teach. But my life, I mean, I think Toph specifically has been just like a personal mirror. You know, she was recorded at a time when I was, the same person but different person, kind of both. And I've grown into somebody else and she grew into somebody else. But there are still so many things that I can rewatch and relate to and also be like, oh, hey, I bet I didn't think about this side of it whenever I was recording it. Just cool things as you grow up and kind of return to your former self in whatever version that may be, and realize that there are plenty of parts that are still very much there, and also recognize the parts that have grown for the better and maybe grown for the not so better, and work on both sides of that. So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of good personal inspiration for all the voice actors in their characters that they voiced. So very good.
Lola 987.
Lola 987. Lola. Whatever Lola wants.
Oh yeah. What's your craziest fan story?
Oh, I don't.
They're pretty tame.
Yeah, they're pretty tame. There was one guy who dressed up as Sokka very, very well at San Diego Comic-Con 2014, and I ran into him like 3 times in the same day, and we ended up at the same restaurant at the end of the day. I kissed him on the cheek. I couldn't remember if I let him kiss me on the cheek or if I kissed him on the cheek. I kissed him on the cheek. So that was like a fun little faux rendezvous of like Sokka and Toph consistently running into each other. And then I did a cute little like Taka photo where I was like kissing him on the cheek. It was cute. But that was just like involved because we were both very in like good costumes, and he had a really good boomerang, and his hair, he shaved his head and everything, and like honestly, he had the same skin tone down and everything, similar eyebrows. It was like wild. Yeah, this kid was like
the photos are
on point.
Hope of Nian. I think like Nian Cat.
Hope of Nian.
Were you able to make connections with disabled people and or spread awareness for their communities after spending so much time voicing Toph?
So yes and no, I suppose, because I happen to have bad eyesight, but by no means am I blind. I thankfully can wear contacts and glasses and still see. But I very much need the contacts and glasses to see. But I didn't speak out too much when I was younger, but I started getting a lot of people reaching out who were like inspired and happy and like comforted by the fact that you are playing a blind character and that there's this amazing technically disabled character who is in fact stronger because of her disability as opposed to being somehow hindered by it. And how, that's not usually the case. And it's true. It's so weird. Usually you might see somebody who's in a wheelchair who like also gets to come along, or somebody who can't see who gets to experience, something cool, but they like have somebody helping them. Like there are all these things of like, oh, they get to do this, but there's always this little like,
you like forget
secondhand thing. But yeah, you forget. And she incorporates it into it by owning up to it, even though I'm sure there are moments, I mean, which we see in Tales of Ba Sing Se and others, but there are moments where she is like, this kind of sucks. Like, it would be great to just like see. You know, for the most part, she owns it. It is who she is. And she knows that that's why she's so good at what she does. And that's what makes her happier, like at the end of the day. Like, she would not be the best earthbender in the world if she could see. She wouldn't. And that's true. A lot of times, I mean, even in our day-to-day interactions, our senses distract us. When we hear something, when we see something and we're trying to focus, all these little things distract us, and she has one of those shut off. So that means that all of the others are completely heightened, and obviously her feet are extra heightened, because that is how she gets through the day. So I recently started, you know, getting a bit more comfortable speaking out about it and like kind of talking about it, because for a while I was like, the character is, but I'm not. And I would feel weird speaking on behalf of people who are blind because I am not blind. So I cannot say that I understand because I don't. But Toph does. And for that, I'm thankful to have played such a cool character. And I think the fact that most people forget, including her counterparts on the show many, many times, that she is blind is a testament to that. So recently, I started finding various organizations that help support those without sight to, get themselves educated, to find jobs, et cetera, and have been, reaching out and supporting and donating to them. So hoping to do more of that in the future.
Plaus Alcatraz.
Plaus Alcatraz.
Blah, blah, blah. What are your thoughts on how the comics have handled Toph past the show's original run? Oh.
Yeah, I think that's great. I haven't read all of the comics. I've only read 2 of them. I think it's The Rift and The Promise. But I think they're fun. I think they're a great extension of the show, of the story. So yeah, I mean, I think they're cool. The more the merrier.
Bolin Solace Gray. Out of all the voice actors in ATLA, who do you think resembled their character the most and why?
Whoa.
They're all really good.
I know.
Like,
and it's funny because a lot of the voice actors do really resemble their characters, like, quite a lot.
Not even like acts too.
No, yeah, like in all aspects. But I will say it's got to be between Jack and Dante. Like, out of everybody else, because almost every second of their life, I feel like could be a reflection of their characters on the show. Between Jack and Dante, I'm really, really torn. I think Jack takes the cake.
Yeah.
In all of the ways that you may love or not love Sokka, I think Jack parallels.
In the best way.
In the best way. I really think that he's the closest, to his character.
Battle Cats person.
Battle Cats person?
I want to watch that. Battle Cats. What were some of the funniest bloopers you did while voicing Toph during ATLA?
Oh, that's similar to the other question. This is not trying to be some sort of weird humble brag, but like the thing is with voice acting, you get the script ahead of time, first of all. And once you're in a groove with your character, you know who you're coming into play. So you're not going in, you're not really tripping over your words, you're not reading it weirdly because you know who you are. And so it was really more of I would read it once, or maybe read it 1 to 3 times, and the director, Andrea, would be like, great, moving on. Or she'd be like, give me 3 more, but 3 more like number 2. And I would do 3 more like number 2, and she'd be like, great, let's move on. So I know it's a boring answer, but usually, I mean, that's why you usually get cast, because you're in the pocket. They don't have to do much because they have to get through so many people. They have so many deadlines to meet. They have so many things to animate. They need you to come in and be your character. Call it a day. And I'm sure that there were probably some funny moments with like Jack messing up, like, while he was like tripping on cactus juice. Like some of that was ad-libbed. So that was kind of fun. For me, like, the Melon Lord laughed, but I had laryngitis. So I guess that was probably like the most fun. I don't know. My voice was dying and it hurt. But yeah. There are not too many bloopers.
So this one's from C. Fuji, and they wanted to ask, how much of your dialogue was scripted and how much was it improvised?
All scripted, for the most part. I mean, there were like a couple things, i.e. the sound effects, or maybe laughter, or maybe it specifically said ad-lib, like, woohoo, or like, yeah, but it was all scripted.
This is from another again.
Another again.
Another again. Another question. What has been your favorite / most memorable fan interaction that playing Toph has brought to you?
The soccer one was fun. This is kind of just like a little collection, but I get some really cool interactions at conventions with people who come up to the table after, a panel or something like that. And Avatar has just helped a lot of people in like a lot of really cool ways, through middle school when it was crappy, to getting them through the loss of a loved one, or through their disability or lack thereof, because it is not. It is a strength. And there's just been a lot of cool stories that people have opened up to me about. I would say that is probably the coolest part of just fans in general, whether it be through fan mail, but especially in person when I can at conventions, which hopefully will happen again soon. We will see. Yeah.
This is from Team Leo.
Team Leo for life.
Which episode was your favorite to record?
I'm not cool. Episode was favorite to record. The last one was really cool. There were a lot of us in the booth for a lot of that. And, we got to go to the premiere of the last episode together with a red carpet, and the whole cast and crew and everybody and their dog was there at Paramount Studios. So, yeah, the last episode was so cool. Also, I have the last line. So...
I was thinking about that the other day.
That's kind of wild.
Hagrid for life. What is the most special thing about Toph, in your opinion?
I think the most special thing about Toph is that she's never swayed. I mean, that's like also the worst part. But I think she always has an opinion, and it's usually immediate, and then it doesn't change. And I think that's a rare quality in characters and in people. And because of that, it makes her very determined. It makes her very capable, and makes her very, I think, level-headed, very grounded, if you will. She wouldn't get to who she is, I don't think, even at just 12 years old. But all that stuff, all the sneaking out, going to Earth Rumble, fighting all these people, running away from home, teaching Avatar, all this stuff, you have to be decided. You can't be on shaky ground with all that stuff. You're either like doing it, or it's probably going to blow up in your face. And she went all in, and because of that, she succeeded. So I have to commend her for that. Those are all the questions! Woo! Quote challenge, interview questions. We made it through. Thank you all for hanging out with me today. Thank you to Ethan for having me on the Amagi channel. Check me out on Instagram at Michaela Mostly. I'll put the name somewhere around here. That's where I am most of the time. Mostly, haha. And if you're looking for some holiday merch, perhaps for a friend, for a loved one, for yourselves, whatever, I've got some Toph-inspired merch at www.banditbasics.com. Wonder where that name came from. Yeah, and looking forward to seeing some of you repping some awesome Toph apparel. Anyway, thank you so much for having me. I hope you all are having a happy and healthy and safe holiday season. And just remember to keep your knees high, Twinkle Toes. Have a good one, everyone.
Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.